Hello, welcome back. I spent an awful lot of time on that 1541, and then I realized after I put it all back together that I didn't swap the chips out of it. Anyway, that I just can't do right now. I just can't do it. Because I have another thing to look at, and in front of you, you probably see a Commodore 64 and a Vic-20. Commodore 64, I have to shuffle out of the way. But if you do remember, I had a Vic-20 that came up with an orange screen. And I consulted with Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel, because he has this magical spreadsheet thing laid out with problems and what they could be. And I know there are other places, and I've searched online. Nowhere do I find anything that says what it is if a Vic-20 has an orange screen. And it's an orange screen that comes up immediately. There's no sort of, oh yeah, we're thinking, oh, it's orange. It's just boom. So I have another Vic-20 here. And yes, it's time to experiment. Alrighty. So, here we have the Vic-20 that produces the orange screen. And we have some things to unplug. And I can very carefully tuck this 64 down there. So, first, I'm just going to set this here, and I'm going, now yes, this Vic-20 is dirty, but it does seem to work. Now this cable, yes. Cable does go to the monitor. And here we have the power supply that came from a Commodore 64 that came with a 1764 RAM expander, so it's a beautiful one. Kind of like a 128 power supply. We're going to turn this Vic-20 on and see that it comes up. Look at that. Isn't it lovely? Lovely. And once again, this monitor has funny things in the corners. I need to look into de-gauzing, or whatever they call it. Anyway, so here we have a Vic-20. It's working. I will unplug it so that you can be reminded of what we saw. Now the monitor is warmed up. It's all warm, it's all good, power switch is off. And the Vic-20 is now connected, and I will turn it on. And immediately, oh, well, that was a little different. There was a slight tweak of something first. Not really. Maybe, possibly, something. It's orange. Now, also, when I was consulting Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel, he did say it would not be a bad thing to try. Whoa, what happened? Something happened here. Now it came a purple, then blue, then orange. Now it's blue. This, oh, now it's orange. Oh. Anyway, Rudy said, not a bad thing, even though I don't have the things for this whole diagnostic thing, but not a bad thing to just pop the cartridge in and see if anything happens. Well, not really. Let's try that again. It's blue, it's orange. Oh, there's a flicker. A flicker of red. Oh, ow. Oh my god. Got a tight one here. Okay. So the cartridge is out. I'll unplug it. And get my screwdriver that fits somewhat reasonably well. And have a look inside. The first thing I'm going to change, if I could get the screw out, the first thing I'm going to check is, of all things, oh, there we go, the Vic chip. Alright, so, first, the keyboard comes off, and it can go sit over there. This is not the screwdriver I seek. It's not a bad screwdriver, it is a Phillips. I need my little, oh, I can put that in there. It's weird that I would do that. Here is a nice slotted screwdriver, and here are some glasses. Well, in this machine there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 major chips. Only 3 of them, no, 4 of them are in sockets. That is, well, it's the way it is. I would rather, oh, they were all socketed, but they're not. So, I think what we're going to do is, by the way, this chip is always a challenge to get out, because this cover is very tight. Oh, there we go. I did reseat this once. It made no difference. Oh, you know what, I'm going to reseat it again. There's just one thing I just remembered as I was getting ready to pop it, and I'm sure it won't make a difference as best as I can be, but I'm going to try. Inside this cover are a couple of potentiometers. And they are often used to tweak. So maybe it's a yellow screen. It just looks orange because it's down. I'm going to leave that up a bit. There's another one in here. I don't know if I can get the screwdriver in there. I guess I can. I'll tweak it a bit. And it doesn't really seem to make any difference. Alright. It seems to be putting on a funky doodle light show. Wow. Perhaps something... Oh, and that went away. I don't know if it went away when I touched the 6502 or... Oh, that's different. Something weird. I'm going to put that cartridge back in. And just see if I see anything at all that would be different. It's blue. No. Alright. I'll take that out. I will disconnect the power. I will disconnect the monitor. And I will continue. So, what am I continuing with? Well, I'm going to pop out this chip. Assuming I can... I mean, I've had it. Okay, come on. I've had this out before. It is just a very tight, snug fit with this little case. Or shield, as it were. Alright, come on, come on. There's really no room here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So here is the video chip. And you know what? I was going to take all the chips out, but I'm not going to. I just have a gut feeling that there is so much going on with the video that there's a good chance that it could be, of all things, the video chip. I don't really have a whole lot of space here. Alright, I'll put that down there. And I'll put that down there. Don't fall. Don't fall. Alright. So here is a working Vic-20. I will pop off the cover. I find it handy to sort of pry on this other cover thing that protects the edge connector thingy wingy dingy. Alright. Now I've got to get on this with firm and gentle pressure so that it pops. As I said, I was just going to take them all out, but something tells me I should stick to the Vic. We shall see. The pins all look good. The witness mark is good. It's funny, even with this beastly bright light here, at times, it just doesn't feel like I have enough light. Okay, we're lined up. We're in. And we're going to have a look. Why the video chip? Well, because we're having video troubles. So here's the moment of truth. Well, indeed. Oh, look, there's a blue screen. And funky things are happening. Maybe not identical, but certainly very similar. So, I'm going to pop this out. With great care. Set it over here. Take... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put the original Vic chip back in. I'm not going to do that at the second. I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to reach down here. I'm going to grab the defective Vic-20. Take the good Vic chip. And line it up. With great care. It's in a moment. We will have video, and we will see. So this is the bad Vic with the good Vic chip. Shazam. Shazam. Now, I'm going to put this diagnostic cartridge in, even though I don't have all the things, and it will not really run that much, and it won't do that much. May not do anything. Of course, expensive cartridges have been sometimes known to need a bit of a tweak. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to tweak it a little more. Alright, what's going on? Great. Well, that's interesting. Not at all what I had in mind. Well, it did say on the bottom of this machine. Oh, this is the orange. Okay, so there could be more things wrong. This is the bad machine. This could be the sign that there are more issues. I'll have to check with Rudy to see what he says when you put in a cartridge and it doesn't work. Leans, well, leads me to think maybe 6522. We will see. Anyway, sorry, I'm going to take this out. So tight. I'm going to turn it on. This is perhaps also another reason why, when you have a Vic-20 or a Commodore 64 that comes up okay, it doesn't necessarily mean it's okay. I'm just glancing into the distance to see if I see another cartridge, and I don't see one right here and handy. But I suspect I do have something. I should try a game or something. But I think that is for the next episode. So, if you have a Vic-20, and this may not be surprising, by the way, I see some funny little shaky lines. That could also be the monitor. If you have a Vic-20, and it comes up with an orange screen, a yellow screen, or funny, what we saw here, as it is video, yeah, go check the Vic chip. There may be more issues. Anyway, thanks so much for coming. Stay tuned. We will continue to explore. Until we meet again. Bye for now. Hello, hello. So I made a little trip around the room here, and as I suspected, I have a Vic-20 cartridge handy, and it of course is one of my favorites. That confounds me every single time I attempt to play it. Indeed, it is Omega Race. With its somewhat squished original packaging. So let's just see what we have here. Omega Race. So there are still issues to be had here. There are, indeed. But as I'm going to put that over here. As I like to try and, isolate things and do one thing at a time, so it doesn't get confusing, I'm going to unplug this Vic-20. I'm going to, with great care, yet again, extract the video chip. I'm going to set this down here. I hear things dropping. Alright. Now, yes, it is indeed sort of balanced up there on the grace. So here is the working Vic chip that came out of the working Vic-20. Ow. Yes, I know this case, this cover had to be here, but it sure makes this chip swapping more difficult. We're in. Okay. Alright, so we once again will apply power to this, which was the good Vic-20. And we should see that it comes up. Yes, we do. We do indeed. It's funny, the screen is not quite as bright as the other, so it gives that little tweak. And then, of course, I'll turn this down a little so it doesn't blow you out up there. Alright, we'll try the diagnostic cartridge. And I suspect it will come. Oh, look, Vic-20 diagnostics. And it is doing things. I might try something. Testing things. Serialless. Bad. Yeah, of course, because of course I don't have the harness, the connectors to whatever. But that does seem to be working. Even though now, let's take that. Now we'll take Omega Race. And we'll pop that in and poof, Omega Race. One nice thing about the Vic-20 you can't get the wrong joystick for it. Oh. Oh, that was nice. I can't see though. I'm turned on the auto fire. I can't see my foe. Nope, that's not going well. And now it's going to go ballistic. And I am in trouble. Big trouble. And I died. Is the volume? Oh yeah. That's working. And you know what? I gotta turn that up. So, Omega Race is working. I'm gonna die. It's been a while since I've played this. And oh no. I have serious trouble coming. And I'm dead. Game. Oh, the auto fire's on. Of course it is. This may be a game that the auto fire is really, at times, not the best thing. See, it has a limited capacity for shooting. Oh, look at that. That went well. We'll try that again. We'll just bounce back and forth and try and kill the things. And maybe this will go well. See, it does, it gives you more things. Oh, it gives you more things to shoot as soon as they've been depleted. But there is, if the shots are going a long way, there is definitely a moment of depletion, like there. Oh dear. And here we go. We're dead soon. Of course, I could adjust my flight path. Oh, did you see that? I went right between them all. Oh my. Now I'm screwed. Nope, I blew that away. Alright, maybe. This way. Boom! Yay! Okay. Enough. So now we know enough to know that indeed there are other issues with that Vic-20. What I was hoping to do was to call Rudy and have him tell me about things on his diagnostics. Alright. Well, we will unplug things. It's funny how quickly you get many things plugged in. So this is the good Vic-20. And you know what? Because this machine is rather suspicious and suspect, I mean, I usually don't put a chip into a machine that I don't know much about, but I felt gutsy. What the hell? So, this time, because oftentimes, things to do with the cartridges and other such things are 6522 chips. And unfortunately, only one of them in this machine is socketed. I'm going to take and try. Why? Well, because we're living on the edge. Now, which of these chips, they always seem to come in a pair, handles those duties? I should know. But do I know? No, not at all. So, let's get power. And let's just see, first of all, does the machine come to life? It does. Alright. Does Omega Race come to life? It does. Oh my. I seem, I don't know what's happened here. Aha, no, aha. Something is wrong here. See, I'm not doing it. Oh, the joystick is not even plugged in. Aha. See, sometimes a cartridge can help. There is definitely something going on that would make that thing spin. And the only thing we've done is swap that chip. Look at that. Round and round and round. And it's not shooting. It's gonna die soon. It's gotta hit one of those things. Maybe not. Okay, now it died. Oh! Interesting. Well, I'm going to turn this off. And, remembering, of course, that all we did was swap out the 6522 chip, I'm going to assume that there is indeed something wrong with this chip. And I'm going to do something else. And I've told many a person to do this at times when they have had issues, because there are two of these chips. Usually it's stuff with disk drives where I say, you know what, swap those chips, just see if anything changes. Alright, So I'm going to take this 6522, which is from this good machine. I'm going to put it in the socket next door. I'm going to take this one, which I think definitely has issues, and I'm going to put it in the socket next door, and I'm going to turn it on. Alright, and now Omega Race comes up. Chances are, well, one would think it might go into its demo, but then again, it might not. It does. That seems a little slower than normal. Oh, I'm going to put the joystick in. Yeah. Okay. All right then. So we are seaming. Now, this Vic-20 that I've been working with, I mean, it's possible there could be an issue or two with these old chips. I just don't know. But in order to try and clear that up, I will take this out. I'm going to I'm very suspicious that it is bad, so I'm going to put it over there with the Vic chip that's bad. And I'm going to put this 6522 back into this machine. Which is sometimes not difficult, but just a little on the challenging side. I'm going to turn it on. And then my race comes up. And it goes to its thing. And if I press the fire button, it should start. And I should be able to play. Woo! And I cleared the first round. And I'm still going strong. So now, yeah, that was a waste. Oh dear. Yeah, that was a waste. Oh, I'm great at shooting at exactly the wrong time. Oh my. Things are in the way. Oh no. Oh no. Death becomes me. So you only get 4 shots, so make them count. Oh, that was good. That was good. That was not so good. But maybe right here. Woohoo! We are flying now. So as you get your shots back, oh no, how could I do that? As soon as they touch something, it's a good thing to lob them into the pack. Now if you notice, this is a rather aggressive fellow. And I should really be shooting more, especially with something like that. Oh well. Are we at game over? We're not game over. Oh, well, we might as well be. Look at that mess. I can't move. I can't move. Well, I could move, but I didn't want to move. Anyway, game over. Okay. So we are getting somewhere. We are. Imagine that, a double failure. Alright, I'm going to still try and get in touch with Rudy, see what he has to say, and continue diagnosing what else might ail this Vic-20. So far, 2 tips. 2. So thanks for coming to Stay tuned. The saga continues. Bye for now. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for dropping in to this ongoing project to sort out this Vic-20 perhaps. And so far, even though the chips have not all been socketed, so far the two chips we found that have been defective have indeed been in sockets. Oh, who would have thought? Alright. Alright, so if you were not here before, I'll give a quick recap. I took the Vic chip out of a good machine, and I put the Vic chip out of what was the bad machine into the good machine, and then there were troubles. So I thought, okay, Vic chip, all good. Machine comes up, looks great. This is why, of course, when someone says, yeah, it's all fine, when you go to buy something and the screen comes up, it doesn't mean it's fine. Because then I put in the diagnostic cartridge, and it came up with a funny screen. And then I put in a mega race, and it wouldn't do its thing. And I was like, oh. So, one of the 6522 chips was socketed. So I swapped it into the good machine, and when I had it in one position, a mega race came up where the chip spun and spun and spun and spun and spun, and I didn't even have the joystick plugged in. And then when I swapped the 6522 to the other position, then the intro screen came up, but it seemed to be, slow, and nothing else came of it. So I am deeming these two chips to be defective. So, and no, I don't like swapping chips endlessly, but we're getting there. So here we have a good Vic-20. So I'm going to once again pop out the Vic chip, and I'm going to pop out one of the 6522 chips. And put them there. And I think that's all I need. So I can put this machine down. And I can grab the other one. I'm going to put the 6522 chip in first because it's easier. That being said, I probably have put a whammy on myself, and I'll bend a pin. Perhaps. No, but it's not lined up right. Not lined up correctly. I often find when you put chips in, like you gotta put just a little side pressure to get everything lined up. Just so. Okay, that's it. And, ooh, okay, the Vic chip has suffered a slight tweak. Slight tweak of one of the pins, and that happens especially in these tight situations. And I have the chip in my hand backwards. Always check the witness mark. So, this is always an adventure. Okay, we look good. So now, what I'm suspecting and hoping is that this machine will still come up and look okay. And that then we'll get onto the cartridge. And we turn it on, and it comes up. Alright, first hop in the diagnostics and see if that comes up or if it's still squirrely. Okay. We're still squirrely. Well, gonna try it. We'll make a race. And it's not gonna happen. Oh. Well, that's interesting. Sometimes, as I say, cartridges need a little tweak. Interesting. Well, it's different. I'm going to give it another little tweak. So, obviously, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Well, alright. It is time. Multiple failures. Not just two. More. I'm suspecting that the second 6522 chip is also defective. Oh. But I don't know. Not yet. So while we're here, because these are socketed, and who knows what could affect anything. Ooh, that's tough. I'm going to pop the remaining chips that are socketed out. I am... Alright. Is there anything else I can do at this moment with this? No. I can put it down. And now, for this machine, that is, has been working. I can put the original, oh, come on, 6522 chip in. Looks good. I can put in the original Vic chip. With always, I don't know, it's always some difficulty. Just, ugh. You gotta get it just so. What is that? Oh, just a little. There was a little bit of something on one of the chips which made me think that maybe it wasn't lined up, which it was. Anyway, of course, check the witness mark. And then line it up, push it in. So, just to make sure that we're still okay. We'll turn this on. And see the Vic-20 screen appear, yay! Alright. Well, the only two chips that were in there, only other two chips that were socketed are the 6502. So we'll take that out, put it over there, and we'll grab this one, look at the pins. The pins look fine. Check the witness mark, unplug the machine so I can get a better look. There's this wire here that is inside of these machines, some of them, and it makes this a little more difficult. So we're okay. So we have the 6502 is out and in. And we'll turn this on. And we'll see. Do we have a Vic? We do. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pop in Omega Race. And we'll see if it comes up. And it does. There is Rudy. It is Rudy, and he is busy, so we will see about him later. So, just because we're here, and I can, we'll just plug in a joystick and look at the game and say, oh yeah, we are firing, we are well, we are good. Is it going to finish that off? Oh, yes it is. Alright, enough of that for this moment. I heard Rudy in the distance. He is pleased that I am looking at this machine. Alright, so now, the other chip that we have here to try is a 901486-6. That's all we have that we can change at this moment. It does not mean that de-soldering is not possible. It is possible. But because of these weird failures, those pins are really funny. Check the witness mark, give it a bit of a push. Oops, that didn't feel right. Check the witness mark. Make sure we are lined up nicely. I think we're okay. And because we have a Omega Race in, we'll just leave it in. And chances are. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Because, of course, the joystick is set to auto fire. And with the joystick on auto fire, it will immediately say, yay, I'm using a joystick. We don't need the keyboard attached. We can't press F1. But if we turn on auto fire, we are cooking with gas. We can wipe things out rather quickly, assuming we don't get wiped out. And we did. Okay. Hard to resist that noise. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. We missed. Oh no. It's gonna go. It's gonna go ballistic on us. There we go. We're gonna shoot it? We did. We're gonna get those? No. Oh dear. It's time to accelerate. Or, wait for it. We're doing okay. Second screen. We got that? We got that. Alright. And how many of these can we get? Not many. This will not go well. Soon, this thing is going to explode. And we should have got it, but we didn't. It's going to explode, I say. Why? Because I'm going to hit it. That's why. That's one thing, I've never really had great success with the accelerating and decelerating in this game. And it is rather important. I also do find that it might work better with paddles. So I just wait to be dying. Okay, got that one. We're gonna get that one. Look at that sucker go. And we're dead. Okay. Enough. We played enough. Have we played enough? No. Not quite. Never enough. Okay. Hey, there's another one under there. Where was that? I killed that. I'm going over here. I can still do it. See, now is where I wish auto fire meant that it really just kept on continually firing, but that are the limitations of the game, and I am not doing well at getting much of anything here. And here comes the beast. Okay, got that. Something gonna go ballistic any time now. It's me. Okay. Oh, what is this? Did I learn something else? Oh no, it's the game. It's starting again. Okay. No. Okay. Alright, so it does seem that what we have is a definitely multiple failured Vic-20. It's funny, sometimes it's easy to get chips in and out. I know, use a chip puller. No, I'd like to be able to gently take my time. I don't know how many Agnes chips I ran into trouble with because the puller is not friendly. So joyously part of the Vic-20. It is not helping me get this in. It's in. And now, swap out the only other chip that we can swap out. Rudy hit a bent a pin a bit. Bent a pin just a tweak. And usually that means if you bend one, you bend the other one. That's not good. But just a tweak. So you just be careful when you line them up and put them back in. That it all goes well. And it does. And how do we check? We reach down, we grab the power, we pop it in, we pop it in, we turn it on, and we should see, ta-da, the Vic-20 screen. Okay. So, here we have my test Vic-20, which of course is just dandy. Ooh, let's see what Rudy had to say here. He says, any luck? I will right back. Some. here we have this Vic-20, which has multiple failures. I think what I really need in here at times is another light. Over here. Alright, here we have the 6502. And it's in. Now, these chips are bad chips. Yeah, what do I do with bad chips? I thought I had a place for bad chips. This little box has, wait for it, good chips. These are bad. I don't want to spend any time dicking around with them in the future. I'm sure somewhere, I have somewhere, that I've put bad chips. I'm going to set those right there for the moment. And I need to find some new stickies of some sort so that I can document what is up with this machine. Alright, so the hunt for all of the truth is still out there. Two bad chips. And my suspicion is very high that this chip here, the second 6522, which is not in a socket, is the other culprit. And Rudy writes, and he says, oh, screen is blue now? I'm just going to write all sorts of things to tell. Alright, well, I think that's it for today. Thanks for coming. Stay tuned. I continue to try and save yet another Commodore Vic-20, which is now on the verge of being 40 years old. 40. Hard to imagine. Until we meet again. Bye for now. Hello. Thanks for dropping in. Oh, I heard a noise. That must be Rudy. Well, I don't really have a pad as such that I like what I was using to mark things, so I've come up with another something. Oh, I have here a notebook. And in it, are pages. Pages and pages. I'm going to try and rip one out. I don't know. And then I'm going to fold it over. And crease it very well. And fold it over. Except it doesn't want to fold over quite where I had it. You know what, I'm just going to try, since I have folded it well, and it feels like pretty skinny paper, I will rip it. Okay, oh, another thing I've decided is, because I can, I do want to keep track of these chips. I'm going to, even though they're bad, I'm going to put them back in, because this is an interesting failure. And I want to just have them handy. And if I don't put them back in, probably I will lose them some, or not lose them, but I'll lose track of what they are and how significant they are and where they are, and then I'll wish I just put them back in. Because of course, ta-da! the notes that I'm going to write will make it clear. Okay. March 2022. Bad Vic chip. Bad 6522. Suspected. Bad. Other 6522. 6502. Okay. 901. 486-06. Okay. De-solder. Test. Now, I plan to get on this fairly promptly. Oh look, I could have written that on there. Oh well. Where is my tape? There is my tape. So be it. Alright. What's a little more tape? Orange. Green. Yes. Alright, so that can sit there. This can sit there. Now, here we have the good Vic-20, which I can plug it out. I can plug in continue with one other part of this. I'll turn it on, make sure it comes up, and it does. Now here's the keyboard from the Vic-20 that I've been testing. But I've not tested the keyboard, and it doesn't look like it's going to fit terribly well in terms of the case. It does not. So I won't try and force it to. I am going to plug in the keyboard and the LED, and then I'll have this sit a little bit ragged here. And up will come the Vic. And then I can push. Alright, well that's kind of weird. Did I get this in properly? It really only goes one way. But it is possible. Oh my, okay. It is very possible that what we have here is a keyboard that needs... Oh, did the LED work? Oh, wait just a second. I do have that connected, don't I? Oh, let's try that again. Yeah, okay. The LED does work. The keyboard is filthy. That is another thing to add to said notations. I'm just going to set that there. I like to keep everything all together. But while I'm here, I should plug the original keyboard back into this, because although I don't suspect really that there's anything else that's wrong. If the same, it is possible at times that if the same keys come up and fail on two different machines, that it can be something else. So this keyboard does perform better. Not perfect, but definitely better. Oh, that shift key's not working. What about that one? Yep, that one's working. Shift lock. Well, it's hard to tell with nothing on the screen. Yeah. Okay, so this keyboard too needs some attention. I think it is perhaps the European model. It has tiny characters. Right. In order to tidy this up, okay. Here is the test machine. It works. Dirty keyboard. Okay, yeah. Yep, that's about it. So we're going to put a screw back in here. I didn't have one in here before, but it's good to keep things all together, but they don't fly open. Alright, now, the other sickly Vic-20. I need to put the cover back over the Vic chip. And, oh, update the note. Very dirty keyboard. Okay. So that means opening up the keyboard at some point. And, you know, I mean, if this machine gets working, so be it. They can all stay together. But parts are always good. And somewhere out there, I saw a message recently. Someone was upset that someone was parting out a machine. Well, it is. I mean, it's good to think that every single machine can be saved, but it's not true. But it's better that the parts from something are able. Oh yeah, look at that. That is something. Didn't see that before. And I've got nothing else plugged in. I've just put things back where they were. Yeah. That almost looks like there's a program on the MS-DOS version machines where, wow, that's funky, where it'll go out and look at your hard drive and then give you a report back on where everything is and everything was and everything, you know. Wow. That looks like it should be the background in some music video. In time with the music. I wonder, I do have everything in there, right? Yep, everything is in there. And I bet you, if I turn this on and off, it won't come up the same way. It'll do something else. Remember, it was just orange, or perhaps it was yellow. I saw a hint of purple. Oh, it's snowing. Wow. Now it's blue. Alright. Well, I do, as I say, I tend to get to this and figure it and sort it. But happen. But I hope it will. Because I gotta get things better organized and really figured, sorted, and dispositioned. And yes, that could mean so. This, by the way, this does have a very interesting serial number. It is 666993. Be a great hand if you were playing poker with, what do they call it? Pregnant threes are wild. Pregnant threes in poker means that 3s, 6s, and 9s are wild. Couldn't get better than that. Alright. Let's see if Rudy has something to say. As he might. Oh, he will be done in a bit. Although, for this moment, I think I'm pretty done with this machine. This is actually one. Maybe I should hold off on putting these videos live, and I should take this machine to him and say, Rudy, what do you think? And see how he does at the diagnostics. But I don't expect I'll do that. But you never know, at some point, maybe I'll take all the defective things and parts and such, put them in another Vic-20, and then see if he can sort it out. He has said I should call him. I believe he means at 2 o'clock. One thing I'm going to do right now, though, is I have these discs here. That are defective. And I'm going to, I have discs over here. Oh. His next meeting is at 2. Anyway, I have some discs here that do not have sleeves. So I'm going to use, I like these verbatim sleeves. I'm going to stuff some discs in them so that they can be better protected. And you know what? Maybe in a moment I'll call Rudy. I think for this moment I'll call it a day on this for the moment. And I shall ponder. I gotta find my de-soldering equipment and see about this Vic-20 that could indeed have 3 or more failures. Can you imagine? Alright, until we meet again, thanks for coming. Bye for now. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for coming. We're continuing on the Vic-20 thing, and at the moment, I'm going to call Rudy from Rudy's Retro Intel and talk to him about what I found. He was, as I said, he has a spreadsheet of things and symptoms, and nothing that I described fit any of his things. So maybe he'll be updating his spreadsheet. But first, let's call the man. I'll put him on speaker. Of course, I'll tell him that we are recording him. Okay. We'll pump up the volume. Hello, Rudy.
How's it going?
Good. By the way, I'm in the midst of things, and I am, in fact, recording at this moment. So you are the special guest. And I have told people about your spreadsheet, of things and how this did not fit.
It did not fit.
And how I have been going at it. So it has been interesting, and I can give you a quick summary. And that, I mean, because of course all the strange things that were happening with the video, and today when I turn it on, there were more color things happening at times, and a cartridge definitely did not function. But I didn't really check. The first thing I did, just to say, you know what, video Vic chip. Okay, let's check that. And you know what, the Vic chip is bad, absolutely positively bad.
Oh, wow.
And then this is why, of course, I tell people, just because the thing comes up and looks okay, it doesn't mean it's okay.
That's right.
Because then I put in the diagnostic cartridge and it came up with garbage. So then I put in Omega Race and it came up with garbage. Now, only one of the 6522 chips is socketed. But I headed there, and indeed, I took the good machine and I put a 6522 chip in it, and then with Omega Race in there, I turned it on, and the little guy in Omega Race was spinning around like crazy, and the joystick wasn't even plugged in. So it's like, aha. So, and then I swapped that 6522 chip to the other location in the test machine, and then Omega Race would come up, but it wouldn't. It would just come up with the opening screen, and very slowly, and it wouldn't go anywhere from there. So I figure, of those two chips, they're both bad. So then I carried on to try to do things on swap chips into the bad board, thinking there can't certainly be more than two chips bad. Well, that may not be the case. My suspicion now is that the other 6522 chip, which is not socketed, is also screwed.
But when you boot up to just like into the basic, did you get anything?
Oh yeah, now with a good video chip and a good 6522, the machine comes up and looks okay. But it's not. Even with those two chips swapped, like both of them are toast, that it's not. There's still trouble. Like when I put in the cartridges into the SICK machine with the two good chips, it still comes up bad and weird. So I did. The only other two chips that were in sockets were the 6502 and one of the ROM chips that was next to it, which I know it ended as -06 at 901, whatever. Anyway, I swapped them both out into the good machine. They're both fine. So it appears possibly a triple failure.
Oh wow, triple threat.
Triple. But we will see. We'll see.
Replace the CPU?
Oh yeah. That was one of the ones. The 6502 was socketed, so I swapped that out.
Right. So
Yeah.
that was bad?
No, it was fine. No. I mean, right now it's definitely a double failure, but I suspect that when I get to unsolder the other 6522, that it too is defective.
So both 6522s and the Vic chip?
That is what I am suspecting. And then, of course, once I get another 6522 chip in there, it's possible there could be more trouble.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, until I'm thinking that's going to be it. But who knows?
When you bring it up into basic, does it give the right amount of memory?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And what about the ROMs? I guess they're all working too, right?
They seem to be. Only one of them was socketed, so I could only check one.
Yeah.
So it does seem, as I say, the machine looks fine, but it's not.
Unless you replace the other 6522 and that fixes everything.
Oh yeah, no.
That could be causing the final problem, right?
Well, the thing, I'm as sure as I can be that the 6522 that I was able to take out is also bad, because in the good 64, it produces crazy shit.
Yeah.
So, basically, the two chips, I'm sure, are, especially the Vic chip, are bad, And probably the other 6522 chip is also bad.
Wow.
And then, but after that, you know, then we'll see. I'm thinking...
Went something in wrong on that, because why would both go bad like that?
Who knows? Maybe somebody jammed a cartridge in with the power on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking, yeah.
Who knows? I mean, remember, it's 40 years old. Who knows? But it's funny, because the 6522 that I know is bad, the machine will come up with it. And both keyboards were kind of dirty, although the keyboard on this one is really dirty, so not a lot of keys worked. But even the keyboard from the good machine, it also needs a cleaning. So more worked. So it did seem that if I had a good keyboard on there, they all would have been fine. So it's not like the 6522 is dead. It's like mangled somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting.
Indeedy. And it did at times, especially after I put it all back together, come up with some, like, then there was a blue screen. And then there was also some weird stuff that would look really good behind like a rock band at a music concert. It was very strange. Anyway, so I've set everything down, because I'm pretty much as far as I can go with the second without cranking up the iron, and I got to find the iron. And and I put the two bad chips in there, and I really thought maybe I should not put the videos up, and then I should bring it to you after I figured it all out and say, there you go. What do you think? But I really think it's going to be the triple failure, and that'll be that.
Yeah, I think so too.
But we shall see.
You shall see.
We shall see, yes. So, for those who are watching this is Rudy from Rudy's Retro Intel, where he does all kinds of things with all kinds of different machines, and he has really good test equipment. Better than mine. I just use my fingers and a screwdriver.
In the meantime, my spreadsheet didn't have that error.
It did not. Well, I think... Well, basically, anything to do with the weird colors and strange stuff, and actually it might have been a yellow screen, because I did tweak the adjustment on the brightness for the Vic chip inside, thinking, well, maybe this will make a difference, and it did. It just made the orange screen look yellow.
But when you changed the Vic chip, did the screen look different? Did it boot up at the basic?
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, it was definitely the Vic chip that was the main thing, but not the only thing.
Not the only thing.
Not the only thing.
Fun, huh?
Hmm?
It's fun.
Oh yeah. It's a mystery.
That mystery continues.
Wrapped around a Vic chip.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to your video.
Oh, there are 3 or 4. Because I did little bits at a time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the last one will be Rudy of Rudy Retro Intel, sharing his wisdom.
Wisdom?
Do you have any wisdom?
Yeah. Don't buy a defective Vic-20.
Good thought. Or, actually, compared to the 1541 I just worked on, I do believe, all told, the time I spent on that disk drive,
yeah,
which I think it works out to about 9 episodes, and perhaps somewhere between 3 and 4 hours, just to find out that it doesn't work. Although parts of it work.
Yeah.
But the drive mechanism itself. But it was. So I had hope. That's what kept me going. There was hope. But in the end, there are parts. And you know, somewhere I know I have some other, just the drive mechanisms, that I could probably swap one in and say, yeah, it works.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure exactly where they are at this moment. Shocking as that might be.
You will find it.
Oh.
I think we know for sure that the heads are done.
Yes. I'll find them. Oh, somewhere, somehow, some way. I'll find them, because I think years ago, many years ago, I probably took some drives apart that were defective and saved the good drive mechanisms. I know I've seen them. I just don't know where they are. They're not in the box room. I know that. I think it's time for a trip to the basement.
Yes, it is.
To the basement we shall go, but not at this moment yet. Anyway, so I'll keep you posted on the Vic, and I'm going to see what else there is to do. I did have some success on a Mega Race when I had it in a machine that was working.
Nice.
And the diagnostic cartridge did on the good machine with the chip. It did come up. But as I said, when the 6522, the bad 6522 in the good Vic-20, no cartridges would answer the call, as they should. There was weirdness. So, anyway, we shall see. It must be getting close to your next adventure at work.
I got like just under 4 minutes.
Oh no. Okay, well, I think I will,
We'll talk later.
I will carry on, and I'll keep you posted, and indeed, sooner than later, I'll upload, and we'll see what's what. And
Yes.
there was no real anger, but, you know, just the usual sort of angst.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, you learned something new.
Indeed. So, and I do hope that more people will check out your channel. What was it called again?
Rudy's Retro Intel.
That's it, Rudy's Retro Intel, where there are videos on Apple things, Commodore things, and I'm forgetting, there's other things.
And other things, yes.
Other things, yes. There are other things there. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for calling. Thanks for we'll talk again.
Definitely.
All right.
Okay, bye.
All right. So indeed, that was Rudy. I hope you could hear that okay. You might have to wear a headset or crank it up a bit. I am going off the air for the moment. I have things to edit, things to upload, and phones to charge. So, once again, thanks for being here. Stay tuned. And of course, if you have any insights or comments, I'm always open to read and respond. And of course, if we're exchanging messages, as I've said many times, YouTube is really good at telling me when I have a new message, but it isn't good at all at telling me when I have an answer when I've replied to a new message. So if I'm not replying, it doesn't mean I'm not replying. It means I didn't see it. So that's all I have to say about that. Okay. Thanks so much for coming again. Stay tuned. Keep your stick on the ice. Stay healthy.